And everybody's talking about this one. Connor McChinny Chin Chin.
Wow, well, listen, he was a little late to the Christmas party because I thought you were supposed to wrap garland around your wood, not put your wood around garland.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one.
I put that on our Twitter page, by the way. By the way, we're on Twitter.
And Rumble.
We're on Twitter and Rumble.
In case we get canceled.
New platforms. Yeah. Go check them out. There's everything's there.
There's a link in the description, but carry on with your garland in the wood. Yeah,
well, look, I had no problem whatsoever watching those two dudes battle it out. Both refs, both officials had their eye on it. They go, okay, those are two superstars. Those are two guys grinding, going hard at each other. Good. Let them go. Nothing's too crazy happening. But then Connor McDavid, for whatever reason, had a lapse of judgment and thought, no. I'm Connor McDavid. You're not. I don't care who you are. You're not allowed to do that to me. And decided to let his stick do the talking. Mm-hmm. And man, what a dangerous play. And since that happened, I've been seeing a lot more clips pop up online of how careless these quote-unquote greatest player in the game right now, how careless he can be with his stick. He's been getting away with a lot. A lot of my friends who are diehard Oiler fans have been saying, 3 games is too much. He's a first-time offender. I don't know. If you give him 1 game, then you're running into a Patrick Mahomes situation in the National Football League, where the Kansas City Chiefs for a couple years now, and it's really starting to come to a head, where they've been criticized of getting some favorable calls, and that's where the whole idea of, the
NFL's rigged.
Right, that's where that whole conversation comes up, because
who said that?
There were some very blatant situations in that game against the Texans where you kind of went, okay, and the announcers, I don't care what network they're on, they've all been given their marching orders. Do not criticize the officiating during the game. And you could even hear the announcer, and I can't remember who it was, who said...
Was it Joe Buck or Aikman? Might have been one of the two.
Might have been one of the two. I can't remember. But they said, I think you're right. I think it might have been Aikman who said, I don't know if I agree with that call. He was like, how can I say how disappointed I am in that officiating right there?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
So going back to the NHL, they have to, when it comes to the Department of Player Safety, that's what it comes down to. Department of Player Safety, not Department of Superstars. Okay? Mm-hmm. This was a player, because you know what? If that's the case, if Connor McDavid can get away with putting his stick around someone's neck, who's to say that some other dude say, he did it? Well, he's Connor McDavid. You're not. Then you start getting into favoritism. No, I think 3 games was sufficient. It sent a message.
What do you think of? I heard this morning on the mainstream news. They're talking about you can't suspend him for 3 games because you're taking the best player out of the game. He puts asses in seats. Fans will be disappointed come the game where he's suspended. What do you think of that?
No. I think if you respect the game and you respect the rules, then you have to respect that judgment. Mm-hmm. And it worked out this time with the schedule. It just so happened that the Oilers were meeting the Canucks again inside of that 3-game suspension. But let's just say it happened in that second game, and the Oilers don't see the Canucks again for how long, and they play 3 games against other teams. Why do those 3 other teams benefit from the loss of Connor McDavid when the Vancouver Canucks should be the one to reap the benefits of that suspension? Mm-hmm. Because they almost lost one of their best players in Connor Garland, and that would have sucked for them. So it worked out, but I think when a suspension like that gets handed out, let's just say it's 3 games, you serve one of them against the next team you're playing, and then the next 2 are against the Vancouver Canucks whenever you play them next.
I like that. It's specific.
It makes sense, right?
I like that a lot, yeah.
Because you, not only did you have an infraction against a player, you had an infraction against that team, especially if you would have injured him. And it brings me back to that whole Todd Bertuzzi situation.
Steve Moore?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, sure, he's suspended, but you've just helped out every other team when the Colorado Avalanche should have benefited from that one the most.
That was a little bit different, though.
I know it's different.
He broke his neck.
But it brings me back to that, right? And look, putting your lumber up against someone's neck like that, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, give him a little bit of wood to the chicklets. Mm-hmm. But
and then who was it? Myers right after he got tossed too, because he decided to be like, all right, if we're playing that game, I can do that too, and he decided to get his stick up as well. So he got tossed. Did he get a suspension? I didn't see.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Prison rules. Call your own fouls.
I guess
there are no fouls, by the way.
Yeah, right.
No penalties.
Well, I think the retaliation one, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm comfortable with the suspension. It could have gone 5 if he was a second-time offender, but now he's got a black spot on his record.
Everybody's talking about the chinny chin chin cross check to the jibs.
Yeah.
There is a positive Connor McDavid story that I came across this afternoon before we started recording the show. I just want to tell everybody about this because I don't think this is getting any publicity from the mainstream media. I know the mainstream media is corrupt. Connor McDavid, they're so fake. I hate the mainstream media. That's why we do this show. But Connor McDavid goes to a cafe in Edmonton, buys, I don't know, coffee, croissant, spends $20. He tips them $900. Little note, thank you for the service.
Did he bring cameras? Did he go, look, everyone, look, come over here. Look, I just tipped these poor people $900. Did he do that? That's what I like about it. It got around eventually, and it wasn't him calling for it. It was something really nice that he did. Post Malone did something similar. Christmas Eve, he was in Houston for those Netflix games that the NFL did, and he was at just a little dive bar with Shabuzi, who was also helping out Shabuzi, who was helping out Beyonce for her halftime show, and apparently the dive bar took care of their tab. And Posty said, listen, can you just bring me a bill for 1 penny? I didn't bring any cash. I'd like to leave a tip. And I think he left, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think it was upwards, not to overshadow what McDavid did, but I think it was upwards of like 10 grand.
Hey, man, that's what rich people do. My tip's bigger.
Right?
But you got to love that, though. $900 tip, especially in Edmonton.
Great. Yep.
It was some, I think she was like a University of Alberta student. That must have just made her year. $900 for serving coffee.
I think it's amazing. God love him. Did she know it was McDavid? Oh, she must have. She told the story.
Somebody was interviewing her or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, I knew exactly who it was. I was so nervous." Imagine she like dumps the coffee on him. I'm so sorry, Mr. McDavid. Here's $900 still. Thanks for the burns.
Thanks for not shoving a stir stick into my neck.
Or suing us for $1 million. Nobody told me it was hot. Spilled it on my crotch and balls. Now I'm going to sue you. I love that.
Kramer.
I love the U.S.
Yeah, no, you know what? Good for McDavid. Maybe he's trying to balance out the karma for that cross check. Who knows?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
pop culture,
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.